And we have a special guest in the studio, head coach Heather Brink of the Nebraska women's gymnastics team. Good morning, Heather.
Good morning. Missing sitting next to you today, though.
Yeah, I'm traveling. I'm traveling today. Travel.
Real responsibilities, right?
Yeah, just busy. Always
Yeah.
always grinding. Nick will tell you I'm probably the hardest worker that there's ever been.
That's crazy. I was not aware that you were busy or traveling or that anybody missed you.
Wow. I can't believe.
Chris.
I miss you too.
Okay.
Look at this. It's weird. It's weird when
I
he's
know,
not
like,
here
where do I
because
look?
the TV's a little delayed, unfortunately. But no, we'll at least be able to see Raph a little bit. Obviously, Husker women's gymnastics coach Heather Brink in studio with us. Coach, we're 5 meets in. How I believe
three. We're headed into number 4.
Number 4.
Yep,
Excuse me. I thought we were 3 and 2.
Yeah. Well, okay. So we competed in a quad meet.
Oh, that's right.
Yep,
That's right.
yep.
Yep, in Salt Lake.
Yes.
So nonetheless, how are we feeling about the first couple of performances here?
Yeah, I think that last week was our first home meet, so that always adds another layer of kind of pressure and excitement around everything. But they handled it really well. Looking to make some adjustments. It was a season high on all of the events and obviously the entire team score. But I think we still got more in the tank. So just looking forward to rebounding, being back home again this weekend. It's Pepsi Pack the House. Tickets are $1. Michigan comes in. It's probably I feel like our largest rival within the conference anyways. But yeah, just looking forward to a good competition, teams healthy, ready to go.
Awesome. So do you have being this early in the season with rotations and stuff like that, are you fairly set or is it competition every week? And then how do you determine your rotations? Like who goes first and who goes last and all that?
Yeah, no, really great question. I don't know that we're totally set. I think what's really good about this team this year, and I think we talked about it a little bit last week, was just the depth that we have. And so I think there's some opportunities for maybe some younger athletes to get some chances. I think trying to figure out who fits best in what position. Is that first? Is it second? Is it third? Because there's I don't want to use the word strategy. It's not like you're like, oh, I'm going to put this first kid up because Michigan has this kid first. But there's a piece to like, where can they manage the performance anxiety the best? So beam, I always feel like, because that's the event that I coach mostly. I always feel like you got to figure out who can get up and kind of be most consistent in your leadoff position, start the team off with a consistent hit, and then kind of try to figure out what scores or who goes next to try to build from there. So, I mean, the goal is to start off consistently and then the scores to kind of escalate and build. So you have to think about certain things. So vault, right? You may have somebody who has a really great landing consistently, but the kid that either maybe goes in front of her or behind her has a better height off the table. So what are the judges going to look for? Are they going to look for the landing? Or are they going to look at the height? Then if I put the kid that has the better landing but lower height, are they going to take a bigger deduction on that athlete's height than if I put her in front of the kid that has not as good of a landing but higher vault height? So it's just kind of some thought process through there, and how you kind of want to build that. I think as we get into February, late February, early March, it's pretty set as far as lineup goes, unless injuries or some major catastrophes happen in there, because as you start to get into postseason, you don't want to be putting somebody up for the first time in that situation.
Are you going with 4 exhibitions again this week then, or
on each event?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking? Yeah, I think we should have 4 exhibition athletes. I think we've got like I said, just a lot of depth and that ability to kind of put them in a situation to see what the judges would score. I think is gonna help us in the long run, whether that's this season or maybe next season, or just some checkpoints for our athletes to go, okay, this is what I scored. This is what I need to work on and improve in order to be prepared for when my opportunity presents itself.
Now, Ref, I want to jump in just for one question here really quickly, because we've had you explain this in depth before, and I find it fascinating every single time. So for people that might not have caught our earlier conversations or previous, interviews, talk about the scoring from the judges.
Yeah.
Because it is so detail focused.
Yeah.
And it's insane because if you're just even a casual gymnastics fan, you might not even come close to understanding the full picture of how it's scored and how it's judged.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have right now in regular season, we have 2 judges on every event. An athlete does not necessarily start at a 10.0. There's certain specific requirements that we have to meet just to start at a 9.4. And then you have to do more difficulty or more combinations in order to earn bonus points or tenths, I guess, to build up to that 10.0 routine. So as the judges are watching, they're trying to keep track. Are they meeting those specific requirements just to start at the 9.4? And then are they meeting what other combinations or difficulty are they doing in order to build to the 10.0? Then they go back. I mean, as they're doing it, the judges themselves, they're taking execution deductions. Are their feet flexed? Are their knees bent? Did they stick their landing? Did they wobble on, something on balance beam? Did they miss a cast to handstand? Are they within a certain amount of degrees of that cast to handstand? Vault is, looking for the height, the distance from the table, and then obviously the landing shape when they land. So there's a lot of like little built-in things that just kind of add up. A shorter event maybe doesn't have as many opportunities because it goes faster. Like vault is done in like 7 seconds or something. Where beam and floor are 45 to 90 seconds. So there's a lot more opportunities and a lot longer time frame for the judges to kind of catch some of those errors. But yeah, I mean, it's subjective, right? So what one judge likes, another judge might be watching for something else. And so it's this consistent battle of like, okay, what are they going to look for? I mean, we've had judges say, like they have to, their rhythm is slow on balance beam. So I took an overall rhythm deduction. They were looking at the floor during their floor routine. So we took a performance deduction.
So you guys do get explanations.
Okay. So you have to turn in a summary.
Okay.
Yeah. So there is an opportunity. We do a lot of what we call inner squads in preseason.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Course,
right.
Yeah.
So we bring in judges and we get some feedback in that sense. Once you get into competition season, there's the ability to turn in forms that you can get some feedback on. We use them. I mean, I think sometimes it's just a matter of like you can't fix every single detail in 1 week, right? So like, what are we going to focus on? What's our biggest point of focus going into the next competition, and how do we kind of fix that? Collegiately, I think the biggest things are stuck landings, obviously hit routines, but stuck landings, clean gymnastics, cast to handstand shapes. And I think we've been working really hard. I think our team is primed to kind of do well, looking at, across the country. So yeah, just really excited. But yeah, judging can be kind of up and down and all over. And sometimes you just go with the flow and hope for consistency.
That subjective piece is crazy. That's just so unique to me. Go ahead, Ref.
So then I see Nebraska is rated number 22 in the country this week. Can you explain RQS rankings to us?
Yeah. So it's now even changed from RQS. We call it NQS, which is National Qualifying Score. Currently, because we don't have enough meets, we're ranked on average score. So every score is counting. So we're 3 meets in. To get an NQS, a National Qualifying Score, you have to have 6 competitions. 3 of those have to be away scores. So you cannot count all 6 from home meets because there is sometimes a tendency that the judging at home can be a little bit easier than on the road. So you have to count 3 away scores, and then it's your next 3 highest scores, whether home or away. And then you throw out the high and average the remainder. So I mean, I think I'm not sure exactly what week it actually goes into NQS. I want to say it's week 7. And then that's where you'll start to see some of the slowdown in the jumping of rankings. So right now people are jumping kind of all over the board because maybe one meet had a really, they had a really great meet and the score was higher. And the next week they had not such a great meet. So there becomes an opportunity as we get further in the season to drop some of the meets where maybe it wasn't our best performance and kind of level out in that sense. we just kind of focus on control what we can control, right? I think we haven't hit our heart peak yet. I don't think we've hit our full stride of what we're capable of doing. I think we're really close, and we're only 3 meets in. So I'm really excited to see kind of what they put together this weekend. Just really want to do what we do in practice, enjoy the moment, and trust it.
Let's talk about this weekend, right, Ref? Because Michigan top 10 team comes in.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys aren't too concerned about that, but $1 tickets here. $1 tickets, $1 Pepsi products.
Yeah.
Doors open at 2:00. Meet starts at 3. Why should fans come?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just great gymnastics. I think you got 2 of the best teams in our conference for sure, and obviously top 25 teams going against each other. The best thing about women's gymnastics is it's anyone's game, anyone's competition, right? You just have to do your job, and it's everybody, all of us are doing 24 routines, so anything can happen in those moments. I think people should come out because we need their support. I think it's really great to be able to look up in the stands to see the signs of the little girls that, just idolize our athletes, and just really overall bring the energy. With this weekend being Pepsi Pack the House, $1 tickets, it's a great opportunity to be able to come see some really great gymnastics. Obviously, Michigan has some really great athletes. We've got an Olympian on our team going to the 2024 Olympics, so you get a chance to be able to see that. And just come out and enjoy it. I think we're giving away free cowboy hats, free posters.
Oh, sweet.
If you're a kids club member or a season ticket holder, you get free autographs at the end of the competition. So yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of great things planned. Come out, meet our team, show some support, and yeah, I mean, go Big Red, right?
Yeah. Raph, we got a couple texts on the text line questions for you, Coach.
Gosh, okay.
You mentioned at the start of the conversation, Michigan, one of your guys' biggest conference rivals, if not the biggest. They asked, who is the biggest rival overall? Is it Michigan?
Boy.
Would you consider Michigan?
I mean, because we face Michigan every year, that probably is a true statement. We end up going head to head with them every single year. So it's always an exciting competition. I think we were within a couple tenths last year of taking them down. So I think on a given every year season, that tends to be our largest rival. I mean, quite honestly, our rivals are everyone in the country, like we just want to win when we're on the competition floor. But yeah, I mean, I think on an every year basis, Michigan's probably our best rival, or biggest rival in that sense.
And then we have one more before I let Raph close it out. It's talking about the judges and the scoring again.
Oh gosh.
Are you guys able to talk to the judges before the competition to see what they are looking for?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we have a meet ref. So the meet ref is kind of like the meet referee is the head judge. And not everywhere you go hires a meet ref, but we do. And that meet ref then is my go-to person. So if I feel like I'm having issues or I have some questions, I'm allowed to speak to her.
Nobody else.
But I'm not allowed to speak to any of the other judges. So it even gets to the piece of like, even throughout the week, I can't reach out to I can't reach out to a judge and say, hey, what do you think about this? What would you take on this deduction? Once we start season, you're not really allowed to kind of have those conversations. So,
gotcha.
and we don't always have the same judges. So it's not always the same judges judging together. And it's not always the same judges that you see at every competition. So I think there's 370 some judges, 380 judges throughout our country judging collegiately. So yeah, I mean, I think there's always a conversation around how do we kind of keep consistency and parity within our sport. I think there's a lot of popularity kind of behind us right now. With all the television and all the coverage. So yeah, I think there's just how do we continue to make it better and better for our fans.
Go ahead, Raph.
All right, H. The question I got for you: what is the capacity of the Bob Devaney Sports Center? Do you know right now?
That's a great question. I know with the bleachers down, it's a little under 9,000, and then obviously that's standing room only. I'm going to guess with the bleachers pushed back, we're probably closer to 5, well, probably 6, maybe 7. Kind of in that realm. Last week we had 2,100 people.
Okay.
When you come, make sure you scan your tickets because it counts towards all of that. But I mean, our goal is always 5,000. I think until we can kind of reach that average of
Mhm.
5,000 people, that's really where we start to kind of build off of it. But yeah, $1 tickets gives us a great opportunity for
Yeah.
people to get in and see that.
Yeah, 5,000 this week. All the Rafts roadies listening, get there. If you've never been to a gymnastics meet before, you definitely want to give it a shot. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, I've been to hundreds and hundreds of meets. They never get old. Um, dollar tickets. If you have your family, something to do on a Saturday, 3 o'clock works out perfectly. Nebraska basketball wins at Maryland. Boom. Head on down to the Bob Devaney Sports Center and catch the Nebraska gymnastics team.
Yeah, we are primed and looking forward to just having a great environment for not only our student athletes but our fans. So come on out, enjoy the evening or afternoon.
Mhm.
Help us kind of take down these rivals and yeah, come prepared to cheer loud.